Hi, I'm Marcus Coward, and this is Wake Up New Bedford. And I'm here with Jay Soares. Jay, thanks for being here.
No problem, brother.
So, going off of part one, you're a teacher. Does that surprise you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. So, like, I would say, like, I've never been motivated by money, I would say. Like, yeah, throughout my life, I've never been motivated by money, and then I always thought, like I wanted to have a family one day. And then when I got to, like, my junior, senior year, I started asking my shop teacher about his job and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, this is like, it's a super cool job, you know what I mean? You get, like, you work from 7:30 to 3 o'clock, you know what I mean? You have summers off. I see that you have three daughters. You don't miss anything. Like, I hear you tell me about going to the games and all these things like that. So then, like, I was like, dude, this would be like a super cool job. So I asked him, like, all right, what's, like, the pay like and stuff like that. This is while I'm in high school.
Yeah, which is
and then, like,
wild.
Like, what do you need? Like, what do you need to, like, to be required and this and that? And then it was like, and then I even asked him, like, oh, when are you gonna retire? He was like,
he's like, I'm not gone yet, bro. Okay.
No, but, like, he would bring it up, like, casually to even all of us. He's like, and I'm gonna retire in this amount of time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, like, he was like 10 years. He's like 10 years, like, probably like 10 years from now, this and that. Like, I'll probably retire and things like that. So, and I was like, I asked him all the qualifications, this and that. He was like, all right, you need at least 5 years experience in the trade, and then you need, like, 5 experience years in the trade, you need this license, this and that, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So, like, I always had it in the back of my mind, so, like, something to be an option. And then he always knew I was interested in high school, so when the opportunity came up, he let me know about it. The first time he let me know about it, I didn't have the license.
Okay.
But the second time he let me know about it, I had just gotten my license, like, 6 months earlier.
Okay.
So, it's like he let me know about it. I applied for the job, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And then I got it, and then
That's wild that you actually ended up replacing him.
Yeah, I didn't replace him. Actually, I still work with him right now.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the best part of the story. Who I thought I was gonna be working with now, like, who I thought I was gonna be working with was a person who ended up leaving.
Okay.
I had him as a teacher also.
Okay.
So right now I work with 2 of my old teachers. Yeah, 2 of my old teachers I still work with, and then one of them left. That's who I replaced, and then another teacher left, and then now a person who graduated a year after me is my coworker.
Okay.
So, like, we know each other, so it's like two young guys and 2 younger guys. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it. So, I mean, you're 26. You're 27, actually, probably.
27,
right?
yeah, 27.
And so, I mean, I'd still consider us young. Maybe, like, someone who's 11 or 12 would say that we're old. But so
we're big bro.
Yeah, we're unk. Yeah, for sure. So, do you think it helps or works against you being a young teacher?
I would say it's a double-sided sword.
Okay.
So, I'd say, like, some kids might think, like, all right, oh, he's a young teacher, like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
no, bro. Okay.
That's like, that's not what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, I get to the point where I relate to them. I try to see what's going on in their lives and stuff like that. Like, I understand the little things that you're saying. You know what I mean? I understand the lingo.
Yeah, I hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. You know what I mean? So, like, it's like a benefit. It's a blessing and a curse on that point. Is because, like, what's appropriate to address, you know what I mean, and what's inappropriate to address.
Okay.
And then it's also like a blessing and a curse where, like, if they say things or they only speak in Ebonics, I can understand them when they speak to me, you know what I mean, or, like, things as such. Like, I could understand it or I could relate to, like, where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's the benefit. The non-benefit is where they think they could take advantage of me because I'm
Yeah. 'Cause I'm closer to their age, you know what I mean?
closer to their age, you know what I mean? And then there's also, like, a benefit. It's a blessing and a curse on that point is because, like, what's appropriate to address, you know what I mean? And what's inappropriate to address. And then there's also, like, the aspect of everyone else is older than you, you know what I mean? And like they still kind of look at you as a kid too, you know what I mean? But that's just, I guess just comes with it. But that's not everybody. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And so, so are you only a shop teacher, or do you teach other subjects too, like regular subjects?
No, yeah, I'm only a shop teacher. So
Okay.
but that doesn't mean I don't teach like math. I don't teach like,
Okay.
so I do teach math. I do teach math to the students, like when it comes to like things like fractions, because measuring is very important, things like that.
Okay.
There's a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of calculations. There's few formulas that you have to know, and a lot of numbers that you have to remember that are related to the trade. Like you have to know that a barrel holds 42 gallons. You know, you'd have to know the weight of water, or how much a pound of water is, or like what qualifies to be like a high pressure boiler. What pressure is it have to be below this or above that? You know what I mean? Things like that. Those are things that like you have to know in the trade. You know.
Sure.
So like I teach those things, like, but that's more of like a memory thing.
Okay.
But then when it comes to the measuring, the fraction, those are the things that I teach them, and I have to find like different ways of teaching different students, because not everybody's the same. So yeah.
And how long have you been a teacher now for?
A year. Is it the 6th yet?
No, it's May 2nd.
Oh, so next Tuesday. Tuesday I'll be a year as a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it harder than what you expected? Is it what you expected, or was it easier?
So like in comparison to like former jobs, or like
no, just what you were expecting for the job.
It is harder than what I expected and what I imagined.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. My job before, way easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, way easier mentally. Like mental work. Way easier, like on mental work. But as far as like physical work, my other job is much harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that.
And so, do you miss your old job at this point?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why don't you miss it?
Why I don't miss my old job? So I just had a daughter. She's like, thank you. She's like 15. She's like 15 months, and I appreciate all the times that I get to spend with her now that I'm a teacher. I have much more time with her. You know what I mean? She doesn't have to go to daycare 5 days out of the week. She goes 3 days out of the week, and then the other days she spends with me. And she's with me all weekend. You know what I mean? So like, I get to have those moments, which is what I thought about before. You know what I mean? So. That's one reason why I don't miss it. And then another reason why I don't miss it is that I feel like I have a larger impact now than I did before.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because before, the only person benefiting was me and my family. Now I can help other people benefit themselves and their family. You know what I mean? So, and like in more ways than just the trade. You know what I mean? As people, as adults, how to act and things of such. You know what I mean?
So, were you not, when you were younger, thinking about having an impact, and you were just thinking about the job and like finding out that you could have an impact on other people? Is that something you learned later on?
When I was young, no, I was just like, yo, summer's off, bro. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like I always thought, I like to travel, so like I always thought about traveling and things like that, and that's kind of like why I stuck with the job that I stuck with after graduating. We got like 8 days off every month. So like,
great. Yeah.
So every month I had 8 days off. So like I would go to like Texas, I'd go to LA, I'd go to like Houston and things like that. I just like to travel. I even got into like new sports. Like I started snowboarding like 2-3 years ago. You know what I mean? I started jet skiing. Now I do jet. Like, you know what I mean? I just like having fun and adventure and seeing new things and stuff like that. So that was my mindset, like my adventure mindset. Like, oh, like I have a job like this, I could always travel. I could always do those things, you know what I mean? And I get to travel the best time of the year, you know what I mean? Like those kinds of things, you know what I mean? So, but as I got older and as I got, like the opportunity came up, and that perspective changed, you know what I mean? So like I could still go on vacations at my old job, you know what I mean? I could 8 days off every month. I'm not getting 8 days off every month now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it equals out to about the same amount of days, but actually it's less days. I have more days off at my old job than I have than I do here, because I technically only work half of the year at my old job.
Yeah.
Work 185 days for this one. But what's it called? But with all that being said, like, because of that impact is why I'm like, all right, let me go do this. You know what I mean? And it benefits me, so I could be a better father. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good point about being a better father.
Yeah.
What do you prefer teaching older or younger students?
Older or younger students?
Is there a variety, or do you only teach one grade?
Freshman, sophomore. I'm trying to see if there's like there's not really much of a difference, I would say.
Between freshman and sophomore?
Yeah. Honestly, between all of them, to me, like I don't really see much of a difference between all of them. And I've never been in the position of teaching adults.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Who teaches the juniors and seniors?
Mr. Coelho. Mr. Coelho teaches the juniors and seniors, and Mr. Fragata. So those are my old teachers that are teaching the juniors and seniors.
Okay,
I teach
got you.
the freshmen and sophomores, and then we have a related teacher, Mr. Almeida.
Okay.
He does all 4 grades.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And so, describe what the average freshman might be like.
Describe what the average freshman.
Yeah. I mean, because like, I worked at Nativity for the last couple of years, and so the kids nowadays, in a lot of ways, are very different from when we were in middle school. And so, in what ways would you say freshmen are different from when you were a freshman back in Voch?
Honestly, I look at them and hear the things they say, and then I always question, was I like this? You know? So like what I like about our generation is that, like, up until middle school, we played outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we have a combination of both. You know what I mean? Like outside and inside. I'm not saying that all the kids seem like they're inside kids. You know what I mean? Is what I would say about these generation of kids is that they are, one, I would say way more aware than I was. You know what I mean? So like way more aware than I was. I would say they're more informed than I believe that we were.
Sure.
So they have way more information than we do.
Yeah.
But the difference between, I'd say the difference between us and them is how fast that information comes and goes. So how it's valued.
Sure.
Is completely different. So how I see this generation valuing information is way different than I see how we valued information. So to like give like a music reference, there's a new song every Friday.
Yeah.
To them, it's like, it's a new thing every Friday. So like, you just taught me this. Next Friday is gonna be something different. Forget about that. I'm not gonna use that. So like, I think it's value different, but this is also different for every person. This is just from like the experience that I see, that it's not like necessarily like valued. You know what I mean? So it's a very replace mentality.
They can move on a lot faster.
Yeah. Okay. Which is like in a way a good thing, but also in a way a bad thing.
Yeah.
So like progression is important. It's always important to progress. Okay, but what can be lost in progression is stability. You know what I mean? So I think like the students progress very quickly, but they lose stability or a foundation, or that foundation gets intertwined with something that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say that's like the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, as you're still putting yourself in this mindset of when you were a teenager, what was the biggest struggle for you as a young man growing up?
Biggest struggle for me as a young man? I don't know. Okay. Struggle. Describe struggle to me. Like, give me an example so I could give you a proper answer. Because a lot of things can be considered struggle. You know?
Absolutely. So, for me, it was probably like when I'm thinking about myself in high school or even now, I guess, I mean, I've been trying to get better, was not taking things seriously. I would just goof around a lot, or just, I wasn't trying as hard as I could have been. I was just doing life on easy mode, and it was working. And now that absolutely has not paid off. I'd be a lot further if I had taken things more seriously. That was a struggle of mine.
Okay. I would say the same thing. So, but I think the only thing, I felt like I had life on easy mode, but the only reason I would say that is because like maybe I like glazed over like traumas or glazed over things that like might have been happening to me, is like, you know what I mean? Like almost like suppressed them maybe to a point where not like where I didn't feel it, and then it got to a point where I don't feel that at all, you know what I mean? So like I would say maybe that was my struggle, but I think what would save me is honestly the routine that we've had since middle school. So like which allowed me to live on easy but still be like still have like a positive progression, I guess, you know
And
what I mean?
gave you stability.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say stability, because there's still things that I'm trying to learn about myself that I haven't figured out, just like everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, like we spent all day in school. If it was cleaning week, we was from school from 7 o'clock to 8:30 at night. Especially if it was Monday and it was mentoring program, our parents would drop us off and they wouldn't see us till 8:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once I got to high school, I was like, bro, I don't want to go home. You know what I mean? So like, especially because me, you know, I had the record for the most jugs in the year, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So
this
school,
is true. Yeah.
school was like, it was school all day, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, once I got to high school, it was like, all right, school ends at 2:30. I could play sports until 6, okay? I could play sports until 6, and if I have a game, I'm here until 9. You know what I mean? So there's no reason for me not to do a sport. And then I tended to be older than all of my, so when I was in high school, I could already work. So once I was a freshman, I was like 15, 16, and then I would go to work right after I did my sports. So I'd go to work. So I'm spending all day like away from home. So like I didn't have like time to really like worry about or be stressed about certain things. You know what I mean? So like there were instances where like, say my mom needed help with this or that, I just, here, you know what I mean? I have no bills. You're the one with the bills, you know what I mean? Here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't really care for like buying things. I would say like I wouldn't care for like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me get these new sneakers, you know what I mean? But like I was big on sneakers, but like I would get sneakers when I can. And I would even get them handy down. I didn't really care, you know what I mean? Or like get them for cheap, get them used, whatever the case may be. Start coloring on them to make them look cool,
sure.
you know what I mean? Or like ripping them and things like to make them look fresh. Go to Savers, you know what I mean? Get some clothes. All right, look fresh that way, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I guess my struggle was being in touch with my emotions, and I think I still struggle with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you find yourself getting better.
I believe so, but I can't. I believe I'm better. I believe I'm more at peace. I'm more at peace than I was before, and I could identify certain things that I do. I can identify certain things that I do with certain ways that I felt about certain things. Where before, I just like flip out on people, or like flip out on somebody where like I wasn't wrong for flipping out on them.
Yeah.
But 9 out of 10 times I usually wouldn't react that way. You know
Or you
what
could
I
have
mean?
handled it differently, maybe.
Yeah, I could have handled it differently. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, things like that. But now like I recognize it, I could like answer that part of me and then still approach it with the calmness that I usually would approach it with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. No, I totally like that answer.
Yeah.
And so you've really built a life for yourself here in New Bedford. You know, with having multiple careers, having a family.
Yeah.
And so have you ever thought about moving somewhere else, or do you like being here?
I think about this a lot. So
Talk about it.
So, way it's looking, not moving. The way it's looking, it's not moving. I have thought about moving, like because like the life on me easy thing. You know what I mean? Like feel comfortable here. So I always think about like if I put in all this work or the opportunities that I had with all this work that I put in, and I wasn't distracted with all these things that I'm trying to have fun with, and it wasn't easy for me to be distracted, I would get a lot more done. You know what I mean? So like, if I didn't live here, and then it's not about it being here, because you could apply this to anywhere. It's because I grew up here. I know you, I know you, I know you. Oh, you don't want to be my friend today? It's okay, I know this person. You want to be my friend today, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I could go hang out with this guy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and go spend time with him, but it's not being productive towards what I need to get done or what's going on with my life, you know what I mean? So that's the clutch that I feel New Bedford might have on most of the people that live here. And it's not about the place, it's not about the people. It's about you and your relation with the people.
And
you know
being
what
too
I mean?
comfortable.
Being too uncomfortable, you know what I mean? Like, I get fired from my job. Oh, hey, cool, my uncle knows a guy that's hiring over here, this and that. But even though I should have never got fired from this job in the first place, you know what I mean? Prioritizing it.
Yeah.
And like this, or like, oh, it opens up too many options, you know what I mean? But now, if I'm move myself to somewhere I don't know anybody,
Yeah.
you know, mom and dad is not anywhere close, and I gotta figure a lot of things out on my own. I feel that I'd be much greater. So it is something that I looked into prior to hearing about the opportunity to becoming a teacher.
Yeah.
So it is something that I wanted to move to Texas at one point, maybe work at a power plant in Texas. I was looking at Florida to work at a power plant in Florida. Those are two states that don't require licenses.
Oh, okay.
But because I come from a state with a license, I have something on my resume that most people who would be applying don't have on their resume. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So and the experience for it. So like those are things that I looked into as far as moving, you know what I mean? Just to be far enough away where, like, 2-hour flight, I could be back or whatever the case may be. But I wouldn't want to spend that money to go do that. Where I could like just build on myself, being myself, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
And so
not rely on like my community around me.
Sure. And so we have a few more minutes left, and I have 2 questions. And if something doesn't come up for this first question, you just let me know. We can move on.
Okay.
But now, having been a teacher and also just having gone through the school system in New Bedford, is there something that comes to mind that you notice that, so I'm running for the school committee, okay? And so I'm gonna be, if I get elected, helping form policy, okay? What's something that schools could improve on or maybe implement in order to help the students and help everything in general? What's something that maybe you've noticed?
I mean, something that you're gonna hear all the time is just teaching kids how to do taxes and things like that. Something
Financial literacy.
Yeah.
Kind of
You're gonna hear that every single time.
Okay.
Another thing I would say is students should be interviewed.
Okay, talk about it.
All right. So like, I think they should be interviewed and almost like put in position to understand how an employer is going to look at you. Because at the end of the day, that's what these schools are. They're worker factories. You know what I mean? Well, like, especially a vocational school. You know what I mean? Like we're manufacturing the future workers of the world. The next doctor, the next contractor, the next construction worker, the next electrician. You know what I mean? The next wastewater management person.
Whatever the field is, getting them ready for the work environment.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, like for every situation, whether the kid wants to be an athlete, he's gonna be put in positions where he's gonna be interviewed and asked about his character. What we gotta put kids in position to display their best selves and know how to display their best selves. Like I could have a great kid who does a lot of great things, but he doesn't know how to show people those sides of him. You know what I mean? So I think that would be an important thing to implement. Like showing kids how to show them best selves to a potential people that want them. And not only that, people say financial literacy and things like that. I think students should also learn business, like not just how to make a business and things like that, but how like business operates.
Yeah.
Like they're making this decision because of this and that. So they're relative to the decisions that are being made while they're an employee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're relative to a position where, okay, I don't want to stand for this. This is against my morals. I could go do this on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like a certain level of independence. I believe that we should create bosses and employees. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Out of both, so that they never feel optionless. You know what I mean? Because you never know what kind of situations people run into in life.
Yeah.
Where they might run into a situation where they're not employable.
Sure.
Right? You
Yeah,
never
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So then we also have to teach them how they can employ themselves. All right? How can they get a product out to other people and things like that? You know what I mean? So just so they
That's
could
a
be
great point.
so they could be productive in society. You know what I mean? Like
And always feel like they have options.
yeah, that too. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a help to you, and you're not a help to me if I don't make money, or if you don't make money. All right? We're not a help to anyone. I'm not a help to you if I don't work out. You're not a help to me if you don't work out.
Okay.
I'm not a help to you if you don't stay healthy. You're not a help to me if I don't stay healthy. And I'm a big believer of wash my own hands. Wash my own hands so I could take care of you, and you wash your own hands so you could take care of me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, I need to know how to take care of myself, or people need to learn how to take care of themselves, so they could take care of other people. Not I take care of you in one way, you take care of me in another way.
Yeah.
Let me be well-rounded.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
then if we do come together, we're both well-rounded, and then we could do more on all aspects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we're not going to be missing anything in the foundation.
Yeah, exactly. So like, the accountability can be held on both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answers.
Yeah.
Answers I haven't heard before. Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks. And I guess the last thing, with really like a minute left, is what would be your advice to young kids nowadays who might just be focused on money and who aren't thinking about that impact on others?
Just focus on money, not thinking about the impact, is figure out what your morals are. Figure out what your morals are figure out what your morals are and what you feel comfortable dying with.
Wow.
So like, I would say that would be my advice. You know what I mean? Figure out what your morals are, figure out what you'd be okay dying with, and people saying about you. Because at the end of the day, it's not people at the end of the day, everyone's gonna judge you. Whether you like it or not, or whether it's right or wrong, people are gonna judge you.
And have opinions on you.
And opinions on you one way or another. And those opinions could either be true or they could be lies. All right? The opinions that are true, make sure you know that they're true before you die. And I would say that'd be my advice. So when you're chasing money and this and that, make sure you're doing it from a standpoint where you right now, the younger you and the older you, won't be ashamed of what you did. Yeah.
And think about that.
Yeah.
Actually, not just think about the moment, but think about everything else that goes into
The grand scheme of it.
Yeah,
So
the
like,
grand scheme.
I think the first step to that for a young kid is just figure out what your morals are. Figure that out first. You know what I mean? Because if you would do anything for $1, you'd do anything for $1. That's disgusting.
Yeah. And that can lead you to a dark place.
Yeah. And
whatever the field is, the world is big, so there's a lot of ways to get $1, but make sure it's the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a person who believes in destiny. But not destiny in a way where we don't have free will, but destiny in a way where I was gonna get these boots regardless. I was either gonna get these boots in a good way, or I was gonna get them in a bad way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like that. That's how I believe it. So everything that I'm supposed to have, I'm gonna have it. But I could get it the wrong way, or I could get it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up.
All right.
Jay, thanks again for being here.
No problem, bro.
It was amazing to catch up.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Everyone, this has been Jay Soares, and he's now a teacher at Voch. He's a father, and he's from New Bedford. Okay?
Indeed.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Catch us in the next episode on Wake Up New Bedford. Have a good night. Peace.
I'm running.